School age. Industry versus? Oh my goodness, this is when things get really rough. This is when life is not fun necessarily. Okay? So school period is cruel. This is the age from 6 to 12, correct? So during this time, your child will be creating amazing things. I think you will agree that the china cabinet at all of our houses does not have china. It's got their ornaments, it's got their artwork, it's got the little hand ceramic stuff that they did with their handprints. I keep up front in our library my daughter's cookbook from kindergarten, because there's nothing better than reading all of the kids' ideas about their favorite food and how to make them. Turn the stove on 2,000, cook for 4 days, and put orange cheese in it. The shit is amazing. Okay, so this is when they're creating those things, aren't they? So what we want to remember is you are their heaven on earth. You are their heaven on earth. You must help parents understand that they are the end all and be all. So when this kid brings something home, oh, we make a big deal out of it. Now, it's always in sincerity. There are some things they create that are kind of decent, but there are other things they create. You're like, wow, I'm calling your grandma. You go just nuts over it. These things should be on the refrigerator. These things should be in your china cabinet. You ought to be calling grandma and telling her about it. You ought to be talking about it at the dinner table. You ought to be going crazy, because then they're inspired to create more. When you are too busy on Facebook, Instagram, the phone, when they get in the car and they want to tell you what they made, which is why I told you the minute you pick up your kids, put the phone down. If you are too busy to notice what they made, and this goes on all the time, or worse, you throw away their masterpiece, you're creating an inferiority complex. I am not good enough. What I do is never good enough. What does that turn into? This child bullies other children. Bullying comes from an inferiority complex, because since you won't give them the attention, they'll find a way to get it in other ways. And I dare say bullying gets you a lot of attention. So you want to go crazy over whatever it is. Put the shit on the refrigerator. We are a little out of control. We will frame your shit, okay? You still gotta frame shit from the kids. So we will frame it. We'll put your signature on it. We'll type out labels for it. We'll just go crazy, okay? Get your kids, here we go, watch this, in games and competitions that they can win. So there's a contest for the best game ever. And to me, the best game ever, because it allowed children that may not be that great at other things to be great sometime, is Uno. I make every parent buy Uno cards. When I deliver babies and we talk about the kids, did you get your Uno cards? You gotta get the Uno cards, because everybody can win at Uno. They must feel what it feels like to win. They must feel that. They must feel like the boss of the day. Like they can call grandma. I get the calls, I know. Mama, I beat mommy at Uno. Oh my God, that's so fantastic. You are brilliant, honey. Uno, everybody can win at Uno. As they get older, get them games where it's stimulating their intellect. Chess. They should get better and better. Not every child is going to get picked for basketball. Not every child is going to get on that baseball team. But there should be something that you praise them for. Because school is so cruel, you want to be a safe zone. That they know they're the apple of your eye. They're the most important thing on earth to you, outside of hopefully your spouse. This is it right here, your baby. Okay? So look. They still have friends of the same sex, Boys are yucky unless they're a Scorpio. If they're a Scorpio, they're a flirt. If they're a Leo, they're getting married in kindergarten. Bryce has been married 3 times. Every other child thinks girls are yucky and boys are yucky. You know, if they're a boy, they think that, you know, girls are yucky. If they're a girl, they think boys are yucky. Except for Scorpios and Leos, they're out of control. So these children, if you're in the hospital with these children, they've got to have the same sex, and the same sex friend in their room has to play games with them. They make great roommates, kids do, because they need a roommate. They need somebody to play with. Collections. Collections are amazing. They collect everything. My daughter collected roller, what do you call those, pill bugs? Bugs, yeah, bugs. So the roly-poly potato bugs, she collected them. And then one day, I don't know what she was thinking, but she let them out, and they got in her older sister's book bag, and they came out at school, and all hell broke loose, because she had a bug collection. This is the kind of shit you gotta deal with. Yes, they have a pet rock. Stop throwing their shit out. Collections, coins, Polly Pockets, Barbies, Hugo cards, whatever those cards are. They got collections, inspired. Now, this kid should be sleeping 10 hours. This is the #1 age when that doesn't happen. Because mommy and daddies are working hard, they're getting this child up really early, and they're going to bed kind of late because of the whole dinner's late, homework's late, everything's kind of late in America, okay? And this is bad. It was my daughter's kindergarten teacher that schooled me on this. I hated her guts, but she did school me. I went to the little funky ass parent-teacher conference. It's true, my child did cut off somebody's ponytail, it's true. Only my child, right? Figures. So she gets to the I get to the parent-teacher conference, and the teacher is a little snob, right? So she's like this. Oh, my goodness. Like LaTanya has a lot of issues. And can I just ask you, what time does she go to bed? And I was like, oh, some bullshit, you know how I am. And so I was in my senior year at Erikson's, and I'm thinking, this bitch is coming at me like this. I got finals tomorrow. So I'm like, she go to bed when I go to bed. You know, when the next day. Oh my God. What time do you go to bed? Whenever I'm done with my homework. Well, she should be going to bed at 8:00 p.m. She's a little girl. I took my child home and said, let me try this shit. Put her little punk ass in bed at 8 p.m. I had the best child I've ever had in my life at that point. She was a happier baby. I got more work done. I thought, since I'm never home, right, get that guilty thing going, that when I get home, I'm going to put her on my lap on this side and put my textbook on that side, and she can just I was in a lazy boy, she can just sit on my lap until I go to sleep and finish reading or doing my homework or taking notes or whatever. So I just thought, that's the way we're going to do it at our house, because I don't get to see my baby. Put their asses to bed, shit. Worry about the shit later about not seeing them. Put them in bed so you can get some shit done. And they can feel rested, because she was so much better. I really did hate that kindergarten teacher, but she was right. There's no way we would let Bryce stay up above 8 o'clock. I tell Tanya the story, they laugh all the time. Yeah, I remember staying up late. So don't do this, okay? Now, so that's important. Now, adolescent, right? Adolescent is what? Identity versus? Oh, Lord. Shit getting worse. Identity versus role confusion. At this age, it becomes incredibly important for this child to be known by something special to them. Maybe, like my oldest child, they do ballet, tap dance, and chiquetti, and jazz. Maybe, like my one son, they do videography and whatever else. Maybe your kid, you know how the yearbook says most likely to fill in the blank? That's identity. most likely to be a comedian, most likely to be a doctor, whatever. They're known for who they are. They have to have that by this point. What point? 12 to 18. It should be something that they're known for. So maybe it's basketball, maybe it's one little girl, she liked the, oh Jesus, what's those shapes called with paper? Origami. She was known as origami queen, okay, an artist. So what are they known for? That's how they have an identity. Now they develop their own too. They do things to create their own identity. What do? Well, maybe your child is dressing in all black and doing the whole gothic look. Maybe your kid has turned their hair purple. Maybe your kid is sagging their pants. Maybe your kid is doing the whole, teenage girls, they always create this identity. Maybe they got their belly button showing and doing too damn much. This is how they create their own identity, right? Tanya was known for wearing a dress every single day. She dressed like she was coming out of fucking top model every day. I don't know what the fuck that was about. Marissa would be caught dead in a dress. So your children are different. What is their identity? You should encourage it as long as it's positive, right? You should be thinking, oh, let me do this. Oh, look at these little ballet shoes. I'll take this home. Whatever it is, hone in on their identity. The sad reality is when you didn't encourage, support, and praise, this never happened. When you look at the age, this is a big body image issue. Girls who develop too fast are going to wear big ass sweatsuits in the summer because they hate it. Girls who develop too slow are going to stuff their bra with toilet paper on the merry-go-round like I did. Body image means if I am 16, I would rather you do open heart surgery than tell me you're going to biopsy this bump on my face. Body image. Privacy is hard because this child has a right to privacy at the doctor's office. And as a nurse, you're probably going to be the one telling the mom and dad that. 12 to 18. They have a right to privacy. They should have a door on their bedroom, but it shouldn't be locked. Because it's my damn house, shit. Don't get too crazy. Flexibility means that we would never dream of putting a patient that is 15 in a naked ass hospital gown with their ass hanging out in the wind. They get to wear jeans and a t-shirt in the hospital. Flexibility. Flexibility also means that there's no visiting hour rules. When their friends come at 10 o'clock, understand that their friends don't drive at 14 and somebody had to bring them. Cool. Stop being a visitor, police. I've been told y'all that. Flexibility. Be flexible. This is a teenager. What do they do in the hospital? Don't let me hear you let them watch TV. No television for hospitalized kids. What can they use? Their phones or games. Playroom is encouraged strongly. Socialization. Some of your kids can't even make eye contact. Not your kids, but some kids today can't make eye contact because their eyes are glued to a phone. That's inappropriate. We're seeing the lack of socialization now. You don't even know how to ask nobody for a date because you text them instead. It's crazy. Okay? So those are the things you got to know. So where does role confusion come in? Oh, that's important. That's real important. Let me tell you how important that is. Mistrust, shame, doubt, guilt, inferiority, role confusion. This builds. First 5 years, it builds. Let's take an example so you understand role confusion. This teenager was born like my little cousin. Let's play it all the way out. In a home where mom or dad, one or the other, was high all the time, never attended their needs, failure to thrive, stopped crying because it didn't work. Toddler, spanked, punished, negativity. Every single time you said no, you got a whooping. You didn't go to potty soon enough, 20 minutes of life, you got beat. Let's keep going. Preschool. You are a little 4-year-old, mommy meets somebody really nice. This person seems really nice, and mommy seems happy. They break up when you're 5. It's your fault, and then your mother says something stupid like, that's why the fuck he left, because you don't do shit nobody tell you. You always doing some dumb shit. Or worse, this is your dad and he left, and she says dumb shit like, you look just like your motherfucking daddy. Can't stand neither one of y'all. I heard that in a waiting room one day. Oh yeah. So this is how they're going. But then things look up. Mom becomes a nurse, buys a house, meets a really nice guy. He likes you and you like him. There's just one fucking problem. He came in your room when you were 9 and raped you. And mom didn't believe you. In fact, she took up for him. Now you're a teenager. Your mother was a bitch, not very nurturing, took your stepdad's word over yours. You are now at the age where maybe the opposite sex is supposed to look attractive, but not so much because every man in your life has been an asshole or left you. But your best friend who's a girl, y'all are very close, y'all have been through everything together. Her home life is really fucked up too. Y'all are sisters in this. And because you're a teenager and you had to know that at this age, sexual experimentation is rampant and normal, sexual experimentation, normal at this age, things happen that you think feel pretty good. And now you have role confusion. And you are battling and struggling with whether or not it might just be better to be gay or homosexual, right? Okay? Now that does not explain all homosexuality, nor do I care to try to explain homosexuality, because I personally don't have a problem with whatever you're doing. But what I do care to do is explain what children endure and how that plays a role in who they think a man should be. A man should be a supporter. A man should be a protector. A man should be a provider. Not beating up your mother, calling her out her name, raping you, and God knows whatever else. Because then your role, your image of what a role of a man should be is fucking distorted. And for some people, their imagery of a man is distorted. It goes the other way too. Same thing for guys. If it doesn't play that role out, homosexuality, let's twist the game up a little bit. Let's call it what it is. Single parenting, 3 kids, drugs, domestic violence, chaotic life, 16 addresses, crazy shit. Now you're in high school and junior high. You're getting your ass kicked. You need protection, you know, the thing your father was supposed to do, but you don't have it. So you look for the role of father in games, because they got your back. All you got to do is flip it on St. Clair and boom, you in. You are completely confused as to the role of a father. I have had this age tell me they want to have a baby. Now, I didn't plan mine at 17, but I remember the feeling that they had and I had. I remember saying, at least the baby will love me. And I remember hearing, because I care to listen, with these teenagers that sit in my exam room and tell me they want to plan a baby, or maybe they're pregnant and they did plan their baby at 13, 16, 15. And I talked to them, and you know you never ask a question beginning with a why, right guys? So I say, okay, well tell me about that, sweetheart. Tell me what you think it would be like. Well, I know for sure it would be my baby, so I know it'll love me. I hear that constantly. It's very sad when you are looking for a baby to love you versus mommy and daddy. So I've seen that tremendous numbers of times, too much really. And then they say something else. It just seemed like it's so cool to have a baby. Like my sister, when she got pregnant at 15, she had a big ass baby shower party. Because we glorify babies, right? They are a blessing. But think about it. That's very exciting to a kid. Sister got a big ass party. I haven't got one of those ever. Even if I have a baby, I'll get one. I don't know. They don't play it all the way out because they're teenagers, for crying out loud. That's called role confusion. Make sure you write down that the number one reason for suicide in adolescence is role confusion. The number one reason for suicide. And when I look at the suicides that I know existed, including one in my neighborhood that went to school with my kid, that's exactly what the fuck it was. She was completely confused whether or not she wanted to be a man or a lady. Now, I don't know her backdrop. I don't know that her family was bad. They seemed very nice to me. I knew them. But I don't know. All I know is that a 15-year-old should not take their life with a fucking shotgun to the wall of her bedroom and gone by 8:30 with a loud boom. Should never happen. Suicide is the second largest killer among teenagers. That should never be. So these are all adults. I'll let you look them up. They're not that big a deal.